British fashion is very, very different, and it's very mindful in terms of I want to look good, even if it's freezing outside. So she's in a red gown, loving every inch of herself and just having so much fun. It was beautiful, sexy, and it made me feel very powerful.
Wear the dress at any given opportunity. Just wear the dress. It makes you feel fabulous, and that's all that matters.
Amen, sister. Wear the dress.
Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is fashion coach Nimisha Mehta. We chatted about discovering your inner goddess, her love of sparkles, and the most whimsical shoes. I hope you enjoy this episode. Nimisha, welcome to Off the Hanger. It's really lovely to chat to you today. We're looking super festive, although this episode might go out a little bit after Christmas, but we can still all appreciate the glory of your Christmas tree in the background.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, my Christmas tree is the highlight of the holidays for me. So thank you for that.
Now, you see, I'm wondering if you're like me, because we work in a similar field. You help women elevate their style and are a style coach. I'm a fashion stylist, so mine's more on the photoshoot side of things, but it's all about the aesthetic. So when it comes to decorating that Christmas tree, do you let anybody else get involved, or are you like, no, hands off, this is my job?
It's amazing that you caught that, because I try to not be as judgy and as like, don't do that, or don't put so I used to be that way. Now I'm more relaxed, but I think I'm also like, oh, that's okay, I'll just fix it later.
That's exactly what I did. That's what I did. As my son and I were decorating the tree, he kept putting baubles on in just the worst of places, and I just, every time he turned around to get another one, I just stealth moved it just to work better. And then when he stepped away, he went, "Oh, it looks really good." And I went, "Yes, you've done a wonderful
You did
job.
So well." Well done.
Well done. I'm very, very proud of you.
Exactly. So I tend to do that. Sometimes I will randomly, like, it's done, right? It's up. I love it. It's wonderful. Randomly, I will just be like, that looks a little off, and I'll just go and move that. So yes, it's a thing.
It's all about that eye for detail.
Yes. But I'm so glad you caught that, because nobody else gets it. Thank you.
And coming into the new year, do you find you're really busy with work? I imagine you have a lot of women who really want a style overhaul in January. It's that kind of new year, new start feeling.
It's so wonderful to have that feeling of just, I want to start my new year with an overhaul of my closet and my life, even sometimes, and manifestation and things like that. So I'm putting out a couple of workshops for that specifically. One would be a manifestation podcast. It's kind of a one-day workshop. It's kind of like, let's deal with what exactly your year is going to look like in terms of a vision board. But truly, it is like a prequel to what's coming, which is what does your style look like in the new year. So I'm really excited for this new sort of year to begin, and to help women with that, with this new project of mine.
And has fashion always been a big part of your life?
You know what? I think so. As a child, I remember my mom putting me in a lot of frilly, a lot of girly stuff, and I loved it. I loved it. And I loved it for a while. I didn't just love it when I was little and then I grew out of it. I loved it all the way through. So I remember being very, very girly in how I dressed. And there's actually an anecdote that my mom loves telling about me, which comes back to the bossy side of me, which I'm really trying not to be. But, in our culture,
we're not bossy. We're assertive. If we were men, this would be a good personality trait, would be considered assertive. I spend a lot of time, because I'm definitely not bossy, telling people that I'm not bossy, I'm assertive, and there's a difference, and it's okay.
Okay, so let's see what you think after I tell you the story. So
okay, I might change my mind.
You may say, I think, Nimi, that's borderline bossy, but let's see. So I was about 6 or 7, I think, and in the Indian culture, we have these, once a year we have these amazing festivals where we get all dressed up in, these sparkly clothes and jewelry and everything. So I used to love that, and my mom used to dress me up. So she'd dress me first, and then she'd go and get herself dressed. And when she would come out, and if I saw like an a hairpin or like some piece like an earring or something that I loved, I would pull a stunt and tell her, like, I would obviously cry and do whatever it is that kids do to get their attention, and my mom would have to give it to me. She would have to take it off herself and give it to me for me to be able to be happy and let them go and go with them to the festival. I wouldn't let them go unless I looked perfect. So my mom laughs about it now, and she says, "You were another level of like, I need to look good. So if somebody else looked good, you needed that thing they were wearing." So my mom made a lot of sacrifices in that department. So yeah, I was a bit bossy, but
Oh,
I'm
bless her.
trying
Do
not
you
to
still
be.
do that to her now?
So yeah, I mean, I am a little bit, but I think we have different styles now. So we're completely okay now. I don't have any sisters, thankfully. So I'm the only girl. I have two brothers. So we have completely different styles now. But yeah, it's hilarious how my mom says, "You were crazy" when it came to getting dressed up. But yeah, that was sweet. That sums up the child in me that really wanted to be this sparkly and I loved expressing this style.
And I bet your mum just feels very safe in her wardrobe now that your tastes have differed. She's like, I can finally wear the things that I want to wear without Nimisha stealing them all.
Exactly. If anything, she may come into my wardrobe and grab a few things.
Oh, you see, revenge is a dish best served cold.
Exactly.
I'm very, very much here for this.
Exactly.
What's the oldest thing in your wardrobe?
So again, it's connected to my mum. My mum has a lot of saris from her time. We don't wear saris anymore in the West. It's very rare, maybe once a year or something. But I had this beautiful silk sari that my mum would wear, and she wore it a long time ago as well. She doesn't go to that part of her closet anymore. And when I moved to the U.S. from Canada, I wanted to take something with me that belonged to my mum that I could wear someday. I still haven't worn it, but it's the oldest piece in my wardrobe now, and I can show it to you. I have it here. And it's this beautiful burgundy. I love this color as well. It's a burgundy silk sari and has like a gold border at the bottom. And it's beautiful. I'm not sure where I'm going to wear it or how or when, but this is a piece that I keep as kind of like a keepsake, as well as something to aspire to in terms of this is what I want to wear one day and maybe do a photo shoot or whatever it may be for one of my special occasions, and know that this was from my mom. It was handed down generations from her to me. So yeah.
That's
Thank
beautiful. Not
you.
only is it a really stunning piece, the gold just contrasting against that burgundy is incredible, but the story behind that as well is just so lovely. And maybe 2025 is the year. Maybe that perfect event is going to appear in 2025 for you to wear it. It'll be
I
gorgeous.
hope so. I hope so. My mom actually forgot. I told her yesterday that I was going to be on your podcast today and that I was going to, bring out the sari. And she's like, "Which sari? I have no idea what you're talking." So she has no idea that I have it.
Maybe she's just used to the fact that you constantly took her things as a
I
child,
believe.
that she now just pops it out when you take
I
things.
believe that's absolutely true.
What is the piece in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments?
Well, if I go casual, so just the everyday, here's what I grabbed to wear out. Although I never grab things. I tell people all the time, I never grab things. I intentionally put an outfit together.
Nice. I like
But
that.
it's usually there's this blue cerulean type color top that I wear, and I wear it with like pants that are that are like different colors and patterns and things like that, geometric patterns. And this blue top gets the most compliments, whether I'm doing something online, like a reel or something that I'm filming, and I'm just talking, and people are just like, that looks, that top, where did you? So I'm like, wait, did you listen to what I said? And outside, I get a lot of compliments, so there's something about that top that gets amazing attention, and I love it. It's a beautiful blue color. Another thing that I get a lot of compliments on, which again I've mentioned before, is Indian clothes. When I wear Indian clothes, I think I just become someone else. I feel more just majestic and royal. So I think that also the energy I feel inside brings out a lot of, like, it projects out to the outward world, and that brings a lot of compliments to me as well. So I think Indian clothes like saris and things, I enjoy so much when I'm in that moment, and that brings in a lot of compliments because they realize maybe that I'm enjoying it so much.
Oh, I love that. I love people who have that kind of heritage that has that beautiful type of clothing that's really ornate. There's lots of African cultures that have it as well as Indian.
Yeah.
British people, we just don't have that. It's so devastating. I want to have some form of beautiful heritage piece that I can put on. I suppose maybe ours is tweed, but it's not very exciting.
Well, it could
Like,
be. You're right. Tweed is, and also it's very. I've noticed that between the U.S. and British style, I've noticed that there's like the blazers, the tweed, the tights with the skirts that we wear in the winters. People here just go for jeans. They're just like very easy breezy. I'm just gonna grab my jeans. It's too cold out there. So I've noticed that British fashion is very, very different, and it's very mindful in terms of, I want to look good, even if it's freezing outside. So
oh yeah, we're all about those layers. We're all about layering up so that you can still look great. I just think, I suppose, when it's your own thing, sometimes it doesn't always feel quite as special as it does to an outsider. So you're right. If I saw you in one of your saris, I would be chasing you down the street to tell you how fabulous you
oh,
looked,
thank you.
because that kind of thing is just so unique and different. It's beautiful. What's the most expensive piece in your wardrobe?
If I take, so I'm gonna take the bags and the accessories and the jewelry out of this, and I think it would be probably my winter coats, because I like to splurge on that. I moved to Canada when I was younger, and my parents, and we didn't have a lot of money, so I understand the value of like a really warm, well made, well fit coat, which usually is on the higher end of things. So I think I like splurging on those, but also I love lingerie. For years, my just I felt very ashamed of my sensuality growing up in a traditional Indian home where there are so many rules on how to dress, how to look, to be a good girl. And this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. So I had a lot of that. And so in my 40s, I'm discovering the love of lingerie, and my reclaiming that power back, the sensuality back into my world. And it's my little secret because no one else gets to see it. I can wear on the outside a lot of the outfits. I can say I wear them for me, but I also wear it for whoever is looking at me from the outside. But the lingerie is especially for me because it's underneath everything. So I feel like that is, it boosts my confidence, and it makes me feel so beautiful to begin with. I used mirror work when I was working on myself, and my self image, to so I began with lingerie with my mirror work to embrace my insecurities, because you're bare in front of the mirror. And I learned to love my body, and it was so liberating for me. So now I just have fun with it. And I teach mirror work as well to my clients now, because I feel like it's such a powerful tool to do that. Exactly, is to bring up your, um, sort of elevate the way you feel about your body by just looking at your body itself. You're not looking at yourself dressed in an outfit that you're going to be, walking around in. It literally is something that is between you and you.
What an incredible thing. That's amazing. It's not something that I've heard lots about, but I think it's a really fascinating concept. And like you say, just to build that self acceptance and that confidence. And I think actually lingerie is a great enabler of that. I think it gives you completely different posture, the way you hold yourself. And you're right, it is that secretive thing. No one else need know that you're doing it. So I often think, if you're somebody who never ever wears colour, if you're always just in those dark clothes, but you want to wear colour, start with your underwear because nobody else has to see it. You get to embrace that. It's just for you. It's such a great idea.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. I really love it. I've been experimenting with scents as well, like perfumes, and I'm just having so much fun with it. It feels so wonderful to have these discoveries, and at an age where usually women do feel like after you're 40, things aren't looking great, feeling great. So this is the perfect way to empower yourself at an age where you won't feel very empowered, as opposed to when we were younger.
Now, what's the newest piece in your wardrobe?
Okay. So this one's a big deal for me because I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. For years, I've dealt with health challenges, and one of them was not being able to walk in heels because I had issues, in that department. And so I gave away at the age of, I think, 25, 26. I gave away all of my heels, and I just lived in flats for years. And now in my 40s, and now that I've dealt with the health situation as well, I'm learning to embrace heels again. So that is something that's new in my life, and I've bought a couple of heels. um, I started with kitten heels to begin, just the process of it, but I recently bought these dance heels. They're called dance heels because they're specially made for dancers, and in how they sort of deal with posture, and it's comfortable. So I figured, let me get something like that helps me, but also makes me feel confident in the fact that I'll be okay if it's too high and I'm walking or whatever it is that I'm doing practicing. So I also bought a course. It's called Walking in Heels, an intro course. So I'm doing that in January. So the newest thing that I've bought, and I'm going to show you the heels because they're fantastic, are these heels. They're called dance heels. And
Love
it's a
those.
really high, for me, it's quite a high heel, but they're so fun and they're very comfortable. So if anybody wants to
They're
practice walking in heels, dance heels. Perfect.
That is such a good tip, actually. And also, I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that they are enclosed, they're laced up, so you can adjust the tension and the support around the ankle. Because I think that's where so many people go wrong. They go, right, I'm going to walk in
Yeah.
heels, and they get a skinny stiletto that has nothing to hold them
Yes.
in. And then they wonder why they can't do it and they're struggling. You need to have something that's holding you in and that's giving you that extra bit of support to be able to gain that
It
confidence.
feels so good. These are super comfortable. I could dance with them as well if I wanted to. I think I'm gonna move up to that eventually, because it's just they're so amazing to walk in. I can just only imagine how it feels to move in. But yeah, fantastic first step towards, if you want to wear high heels but don't want to worry too much about yourself.
Yeah, such a good tip. Great tip. Are you quite sentimental about the pieces in your wardrobe? You've obviously got that beautiful piece from your mum. Is there a most sentimental piece you have?
I am. I think I'm pretty attached to a lot of the things that I buy because I do a lot of mindful buying as well. I have to absolutely love the things that I want to purchase. I I think the most sentimental will have to be, again, related to generational, is my grandmother. Is no more, and I was very close to her, and she had these beautiful studs, and they're very simple floral studs, and I don't wear them often. I want to not wear them out too much just in case something happens to them. So I keep them as a keepsake more. And sometimes when I'm missing her or something, I'll put them on during the day in the house and just walk around with them, knowing that, I have them on and she's with me. But I do believe in signs as well. So sometimes I feel like she's around me, like I can smell her scent. Um, So this is a way of me holding on to that memory of hers in a tangible way. I have something from my grandmother. So yes, this is the most sentimental piece, and I'm never gonna give it to anyone. So
I love that. It's such a beautiful way to have that kind of connection and retain that memory of someone by wearing something that was theirs. I think it's just gorgeous.
I love her. I think my grandmother was one of the kindest people in the world. And just to even live up to like 10% of that is just, it would be amazing. So yeah, I love her.
That's the goal. What is the piece in your wardrobe that you would say most sums you up?
Um, I'm very intentional about these things in terms of, as I told you, I will buy things that I truly love and want to um, create some kind of look or outfit or feeling. And I remember around my birthday, I'm very mindful of what I wear that day. And so I remember on my 40th birthday, I bought this dramatic silhouette red dress. And I personally hadn't worn something like that in, well, ever. It was beautiful, sexy, and it made me feel very powerful. I felt like a queen that day. So I embraced that on my 40th birthday, and it was bright red, and I loved it. So I think red is my thing. I think any shade of red, burgundy, whatever shade of red, is an instant. Pick me up for me. I will grab my red lipstick any day to make me feel better. And that was a fantastic piece that I truly feel like sums me up. Another one, there's two or three. Another one was the birthday that I had last year. And I wore this blush pink skirt. It had like frills on it, and it's just a beautiful girly piece. It's very Sex in the City, type of vibe with the tulle. And the inner child in me came out and said, this is what I want to wear today. So I embraced that again, and that's what I wore for my birthday last year. And it made me feel so girly and so little girly, and it made me also feel very, very feminine. So I tapped into that pure fun whimsy part of me as well. And I think the third one would have to be, recently I went to Turkey and I wanted to do a photo shoot. And this is in Cappadocia, where they have these balloons, like hundreds of balloons in the air. You
Oh,
must, yeah, have you seen the photos?
yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's stunning. It's stunning. So there are these women, myself included, who go and have these dramatic dresses and these photo shoots that we booked. So I booked a photo shoot for myself as a treat for being there. And so these photos, I wanted to wear something that truly embodies who I am. And I wanted to be dramatic about it. So I bought this, again, red. I bought this red gown that was just fun and flirty and sexy. And I had so much fun shooting for this photo shoot with that dress. And I twirled, and it was fantastic. I had so much fun. And those photos, I just recently received the photos from the photographer, are they are the embodiment of my divine, um I guess, my divine being. I feel like that's what I envision myself when I close my eyes and I look at my higher self. That's what she looks like. She's in a red gown, loving every inch of herself and just having so much fun. So I think that it made me feel like a goddess. And in short, basically my wardrobe is a mix of powerful, playful, and divine. Those are the words that come
Oh
to
my
mind.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible answer. I think that's something that the majority of us don't do. But if you're listening, you should spend a little bit of time doing this. Be inspired by this conversation and just picture what your higher being goddess self looks like. I think that's such an incredible thing. Mine has got hair that is perfect and down to the waist and is never wild and feral. It's just gorgeous at all times. That's what I would have in my head. Obviously, she's wearing green because my favourite colour. And yeah, it's definitely some sort of epic level gown, because I'd love to be one of those people that get to go to the Met Gala and wear something so big I need 7 men to carry it up the stairs for me. That'd be the dream.
Oh, that is my dream. And the funniest part is that a lot of my choices, I lean towards those kinds of things, and I'm like, when some random person will be like, "Where exactly are you wearing this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I have no
That's
idea."
my favorite question. That's my favorite question. It's when somebody mistakes me that I'm going to some sort of big event. The amount of times when I've just been going about my everyday life and somebody said, "Oh, are you going somewhere nice? Are you going to a wedding?" And I'm like, "No, no, this is just my
It's
outfit
just for
today."
fun. I mean, I have to tell you, the number of Audrey Hepburn type dresses that I have, the silhouette, like, you know what I mean? Like the tight bodice and like
Yes.
full dress. So many of them. And I wear them on vacation, and people in Europe are looking at me like I'm crazy, but that's who I am. So,
Hey, wear the dress at any given opportunity. Just wear the dress. It makes you feel fabulous, and that's all that matters.
amen, sister. Wear the dress.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side,
Mm.
when we're not getting to be our most wonderful goddess selves, there are occasional moments when we have wardrobe malfunctions and fashion faux pas. Does this happen to you as well?
Yes. The funny thing is, I'm very, when I think about faux pas, I'm like, oh, but because I never make fun of myself in the way I dressed. I'm very careful in that, because I'm like, my inner critic wants to, of course it does. But I say to myself, that was who I was. That was exactly who I was, whether it's sweatpants or whether it's, like a mismatched, whatever. I'm like, that's who I was. So it's okay. It's okay. That's not, it just keeps getting better for me. As every year is added onto my life, it keeps getting better. My style keeps getting refined. So I love the journey. But I think I'm going to tell you a story that recently happened. So I was going out to brunch, and I was probably just in a rush. It wasn't very bright outside, because it isn't very bright these days. And I grabbed my tights, because it was a bit cold. This is couple of months ago. It was a bit cold. I grabbed my tights. I was wearing a short, like a mini skirt, and I was wearing tights underneath. I grabbed them. I put them on. I got dressed really quickly. Didn't look in the mirror, and walked out. While I was on my way, I realized in the broad daylight that I had a huge, like, run on one side of my tights, and it wasn't just a regular run. It was actually like the tights were disintegrating on that side. And I realized it must have been because I put it in the dryer by mistake, because I there was no saving it. There was no salvaging this thing. And it looked horrible. It just looked so bad. And the funny thing is, I realized what I was thinking, and I wasn't thinking other people are going to think this of me. I was thinking, I don't feel good. I don't feel like I'm not enjoying my outfit today, and I need to do that. So I stepped into a Caldazonia. I grabbed a new tights, and I changed in there, and then I was feeling great. I had a great day that day. So I'm realizing also that I want to look good for me. I don't actually worry about what the other person's thinking about me anymore, which is such a huge achievement for me, because most of us want that validation from the outside world. I still want the validation. Please don't stop complimenting me, guys. But because it feels great to hear that you look good. But I'm truly dressing for that image in the mirror. I really am. I want to embrace myself and my style in a way that I feel good. I have more emotions attached to it than just, oh, I need to dress this way for this occasion.
I think we've all been there with the tights. It is the worst when they just, and you kind of spot it and you're like, I can't touch it because the more I touch it, the more it's going to shoot up my leg. And then you just have to leave it and, oh, it's not the one. It is not
It
the
was
one.
so bad though.
Then
I was you looking at this thing. I'm like, it's literally falling apart. So yeah, don't
like,
put your
you're not
tights
the
in the
one.
dryer.
Yeah, don't do that. It's not a vibe. Now, you've been on quite a journey with your footwear. Do you have a favorite pair of shoes?
Oh, I have several. I think my favorite pair would have to be a white, like a white trainers. I think those are my go-to. I will grab them at any point because I just love the look of a white trainer. I also love loafers. Loafers are my go-to as well if I'm on vacation, long sort of walking days and things like that. Loafers are my favorite. But I recently bought a pair for my birthday again. That I had my eye on for a while, and they are basically wedding shoes. but,
Nothing wrong with that.
but who
There's
cares?
definitely wedding shoes sitting over there on my shelves. There's nothing wrong with buying a bridal shoe, even if you're not the bride.
They are stunning, Emma. They are so beautiful. They're delicate and they're like handmade, and they have these beautiful little um, butterflies on them, like 3D butterflies. And they're lavender in color. They're just gorgeous. These things are beautiful. So I bought them for my birthday, and they were really high stiletto heels. So this I hadn't done in a while again. And I didn't last very long on them. It was maybe 3 hours in them. So I was like, okay, this is great. It's a great start. But it's the shoe is so beautiful, and I wanted to gift myself that. So I'm beginning to go towards a collection now of these stunning pieces that I want to wear for whatever occasion it is. And it's not because they match my clothes or it's a functional or whatever thing. I think it's more for the fact that this is a beautiful piece that brings out this emotion or that emotion for me. And so I'm starting to do that with shoes. And I told you with scents as well, with perfumes, I'm starting to do that. I'm starting to do a lot of mixing and things. But these shoes for me were just fairy tale. They were whimsical and fairy like, and I felt beautiful in them. Those are my favorite pairs right now.
Oh, they sound incredible. I just think they're like works of art. That's why I love them so much. It's just, I think so many of them are just beautiful, really individualistic works of art that are incredible. And I'm like, they're just so pretty. I can't stop myself.
I hear you. I hear you. These truly are.
Now, is there a fashion item that you would love to own, irrespective of cost, practicality, availability? The fashion gods just drop it in your lap as a gift. What would you have?
Oh, so many things.
There's a list.
Yes, absolutely. There's a list, but I think my top sort of go to, just where my brain takes me immediately as soon as somebody asks me that question, is there's this, and I don't know how to say her name. I think it's Tuta Matoshi is how you say her name, and she makes these stunning, beautiful Audrey Hepburn like type dresses. And there's this stunning scarlet dress that is in her collection. It has a corset top, and it has like a tulle covered like with glittery stars and moons. And it's a tulle dress, that like a full dress that comes all the way out. And I want to covet this thing. It's so beautiful. And of course it's red. So it's like a bright scarlet red. But I'm just in love with this item. It's quite expensive, so I'm not sure. I would actually, this time I would actually have to have an occasion where I would wear it to justify that price. But again, it's just stunning, truly stunning. And again, I think it sums me up as how I'm feeling on the inside and what I want to express on the outside as a person. It's just magical. There's another outfit that I would love in my closet, which I don't have in the recent times. I used to have them. Is like an Indian fashion designer. Created lenga. A lenga is like a top and then like a full skirt, and it also has like a drape if you want to put it on. But I just love everything that makes me feel queen like. And I think Indian clothes and a lenga would make me truly feel regal. And those are the two sides of me. The one side is this whimsical side of me, which is Western, but still Audrey Hepburn type silhouette. The other side is this Indian traditional, but very modern, sparkly queen in me. So I think both of those together would be the perfect sort of either or, whichever I get. Things to.
Either way, I'm diving headfirst into that wardrobe because it sounds spectacular in there, whether it's the whimsy or the sparkles. I'm here for all of it.
Also, again, Emma, I have no clue where I'm going to wear these outfits. Maybe just do another
Oh no,
photo
me
shoot.
neither. It's fine. It's fine. Who needs to know where they're going to be worn? Just that at some point they will be worn, and that's all we need to know.
I know. Maybe that's what my life is going to be, collecting these amazing pieces and doing photo shoots all day.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. Then you've got visual memories of just how spectacular you looked in them. Now, to finish on, is there a piece of fashion advice you would have given to your younger self?
Yes. The first thing I would tell my younger self is to listen to my inner child. I stopped doing that a long time ago, and also to listen to my inner goddess. This is, where the sensuality was crushed, and I feel that those two things were the major, I think, the turning points in my life, in my sort of style journey, were listening to my inner child and my inner goddess, and creating what I feel was uh, my style. I would remind myself to stop thinking about fashion and start thinking about style. Embrace my unique style, because everybody has one. Um, Whatever that may be, it doesn't have to be fabulous for the rest of the world. It just has to be fabulous for you. And for me, the most important thing that I would say is that you're going to be judged no matter what. I'd love to tell people, don't worry, wear whatever you want. No one's judging you. That's actually not true. It's not true. We're all getting judged. So I feel like if I'm going to get judged anyway, I may as well feel amazing in what I'm wearing and not judge myself, because I'm going to just allow you to make those judgments. And that way, I know that some people will love it and some people won't. The ones who love it will be on my side and in my circle. The ones who don't probably won't be, because they'll think I'm too much, which is totally okay. I'm totally fine with being too much. So I feel like fashion, um, to sum it up, is a powerful tool that it protects your authentic self like an armor, while it also expresses it to the world. So for me, it has been the most powerful tool to tap into my higher self. And it's been magical, truly magical for me.
What beautiful advice to finish on. Thank you so much for being a guest. I've absolutely loved chatting with
Oh,
you.
thank you for having me. You're doing such a beautiful job with this podcast. I loved listening to your podcast as well. And thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that chat. If you did, please remember to recommend Off the Hanger to a friend.